In this video, we're going to talk about how to tell if your ex feels guilty for hurting you after your breakup. But first, my name is Clay with ModernLove.life, where we help you get the great loving relationship that you're looking for without having to play mind games, without having to play hard to get, and without having to pretend to be someone or something that you are not, because you deserve to be loved for the unique, amazing, and wonderful person that you are. And if you agree with me, do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, think about subscribing to the channel while you're down there. I also want to let you know that we have our course called Connect and Commit. It helps you to kind of get through these moments of tense emotional uncertainty, that if you say the wrong things or if you react in the wrong way, you could potentially end up doing a lot of harm and set yourself back a lot when it comes to trying to save your relationship with your ex or get back together. But if you know the right way to respond, if you know what it is your ex actually needs to hear, you can actually create an opportunity for deeper emotional bonding and connection. More information about that is available down below this video in the description box. If it seems like a good fit for you, cool. If not, no worries. I'm not going to hard sell you on it, but just so you know, it is down there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. So your ex might be feeling guilty after your breakup. I've seen this happen a lot. Oftentimes we know that, the person who is on the receiving end of the breakup feels a lot of rejection. They feel a lot of pain. They feel a lot of hurt. There's no shortage of people that will tell you that. There's like all sorts of like really sad songs written about that kind of feeling too. But what we often forget, or what we often neglect sometimes, is that our ex, the person who's giving the breakup message, feels a strong sense of guilt as well too. We don't want to think of ourselves as the kind of person who goes out there and hurts other people emotionally, who makes them cry, who makes them feel bad, who shatters their dreams of a relationship or something like that. And so when the receiver of the breakup starts to feel the rejection, the person that's giving the breakup also feels a sense of guilt, because they think that am I a bad person for causing this pain? Am I a bad person for inflicting this suffering on another human being? And as that giver of the breakup starts to deal with this feeling of guilt, it can cause them to feel and behave in certain ways that we're going to get into in this video. Okay, so the first way that you can tell if your ex is dealing with this feeling of guilt is, number one, if they're like a sensitive person in general, and you think that the breakup is probably something that they took personally, that they're taking a lot of personal emotional responsibility for it, things like that. If they're just sort of like oblivious, not really very emotionally sensitive or something like that, maybe this doesn't necessarily apply to them. But if they're the kind of person that tends to, take a lot of things on themselves, take a lot of responsibility on themselves, if they really look and think about the emotional impact that their actions have on others, if you've seen them do this during your time together in your relationship together, then there's a good chance that they're probably feeling this way right now. Again, you should know your ex pretty well because you were in a relationship with them. You know them a whole lot more than, me or any other of the weirdos on the internet that maybe you watch on YouTube or anything like that. So use that knowledge to your advantage. Use the knowledge that you have about your ex's emotional world, their response to things, and so on, to your advantage. So do you think that they have the capability of feeling guilt, or do you think that's in character for them to feel guilty about hurting you? That's the first one. The second one is if they won't let themselves talk to you. They don't want to talk to you. They want to keep that distance from you. And again, the reason for this is because being in contact with you causes them to feel that guilt. Being in contact with you causes them to remind themselves, this is someone that I hurt. This is someone whose, dream I killed of being in a relationship with me. Sure, they probably have their reasons for breaking up, and sure, they probably have difficulties and challenges in the relationship with you that inspired them to break up, but still, they don't want to think of themselves as the kind of person that's like going to go out there and, squash your dreams, squash your happiness, squash your joy, or something like that. And so they may actually keep a distance from you because they don't want to really agitate that feeling of guilt within themselves. It's not necessarily because they're a jerk and they're just trying to wall you out. That can happen, sure, absolutely. But if your ex is like a sensitive sort of person who might be feeling guilty, they might also be using that guilt as a motivation for keeping distance from you. The third way that you can tell if your ex is feeling guilty is if they try to prop you up emotionally. So maybe they are talking to you, but when they are talking to you, they're trying to, boost up your self-esteem. I mean, this is a whole conversation for another video series, but they can't take care of your self-esteem for you, obviously, because it's self-esteem. I mean, sure, there are things that they can do that would absolutely not be great for your self-esteem, but they may try to prop you up emotionally. Okay, again, if they're the kind of person that takes emotional responsibility for their actions and takes emotional responsibility for the effect that they have on other people, they might try to prop you up emotionally, hoping that you feel better about the breakup, hoping that you don't really feel as hurt, because if they think that they kind of uplifted you, then it kind of alleviates the sense of guilt that they have about breaking up with you in the first place. And so if they think that you are, feeling good, feeling optimistic, taking pride in things that are happening in your life, that maybe you won't be as hurt emotionally and maybe you'll be able to bounce back faster. Again, I don't think that this is a very effective thing to do for a lot of reasons, but still, they might do this sort of thing. The flip side of this actually leads us into thing number 4, which is that your ex may try to downplay good things that are happening in their own life. So, as they kind of go out and start to do things, maybe they're starting to do really well in their job or their career. Maybe some interesting things are happening in their life. Maybe they, won some sort of contest or hit some sort of goal that they wanted to do or something like that. They may downplay it. They may either hide it from you intentionally. They may just sort of like mention it in sort of like a really downplayed sort of way or something like that. And again, the purpose of this is to keep themselves kind of looking down here, where they're hoping that you can start to build yourself up so that you feel better about yourself, and that you're not going to think that like, oh, okay, now you like broke up with me, now I feel terrible. Additionally, your life is great, your life is taking off, your life is going somewhere. And that's not somewhere that they want you to be, because then they're just going to feel even guiltier, right? So they may often try to downplay their own achievements, downplay their own personal victories, and play up yours. Those are kind of two twin sides of the same coin. Sign number 3 and 4. Now, before we go on, I do want to let you know that we do have our whole series on signs that your ex maybe wants you back or signs that they don't want you back. This might be interesting for you. You can check it out up there. Now, from there, let's go on to our 5th sign, which is that your ex keeps surface level conversations with you and won't go too deep emotionally. Now, the reason why they don't want to go too deep emotionally is because when you start to get down too deep on an emotional level, your true feelings start to show through. And if your ex is feeling guilty, they obviously don't want to feel guilty. They don't want to feel bad about themselves. And if they allow themselves to get too close to you emotionally, they may start to show and reflect their true emotional state. And they probably just want to keep things at a surface level so that they can put up this appearance of like everything is okay, or they can tell themselves that everything is okay. I mean, a lot of this isn't necessarily for your benefit. It's oftentimes really mostly for their own benefit, not that they're like intentionally trying to hurt you or anything. But a lot of their motivations are just trying to help them to avoid feeling this emotion of guilt that they have for breaking up with you or for hurting you. So they may do things like try to keep some sort of emotional distance or emotional space, because they know if they allow themselves to get too close emotionally to you or to open up too much to you, that they may actually start to experience the guilt or really let it show through, that they feel this sense of guilt about how things ended between the two of you. So anyway, that's how you can tell if your ex feels guilty for hurting you, or how you can tell if your ex feels guilty after the breakup. Once again, if you like what we're doing here, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please think about also subscribing to this channel as well. You can hit that subscribe button down below, and you want to hit that bell icon next to it too. That's what everyone tells you to do these days. I guess it shows up in your notifications if you do that, as opposed to just your subscriber feed. I don't know. But you might want to do that. Also, once again, we do have Connect and Commit down below in the description box. Check it out if you're interested. If not, no worries. But you also may want to check out this video series over here. It goes over what your ex is thinking, sort of where they're at, their emotional journey through all of this. Or you might want to check out this video over here. But thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.